Thank you for joining us. I wanted to welcome everyone to today's webinar, which will share what to expect as you prepare for the 10th annual Invest in BC presented by Lumera Ventures. During today's webinar, we will also hear from our guest speaker, Nicholas Sugaro, BIO's Director of Partner Products and Services, to learn more about the partnering system that will be used at Invest in BC. We will also walk through the event schedule, including a preview of conference sessions and programming, biopartnering tips, tricks, and best practices. And then at the end, we'll have a Q&A session for any questions that you have. So as Alicia's mentioned, please put them in the Q&A so that we can monitor that. And everywhere else, please feel free to comment in the chat. Perfect. So as we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that I am joining this webinar on the ancestral, traditional, and unceded territory of the Coast Salish peoples, including the territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations, upon which I am honored to live, work, and play. So we'll dive right in, and the first we're going to look at is the overview of the schedule. So as you can see, it's being shown on your screen here. It is 2 days, full 2 days. So on day one, we'll be mainly focused on therapeutics. We'll have the arrival in the morning. We've got some programming that will start, some keynotes, which will be announced shortly. Then we go right into the company pitches, which are about 8 minutes long. You've got, of course, then a break, some more company pitches, a delicious lunch and great networking opportunity. We will then move on to a panel discussion. And then the programming will continue before we have some closing remarks. And then we go into the partnering. So the partnering will be on from 2:30 to 5:30 in 25-minute meeting slots. There will also be workshops, and new this year, along with the workshops, will be booths. So there will be exhibitor booths on the second floor of the convention center. So we will encourage you to all to visit that. And we will also be having the main programming will be taking place on the third floor. That night, we'll welcome you to stay for the networking reception, which is from 5:30 to 6:30. All of the lunch, the networking receptions, the partnering are all included in your ticket price. So if you've not had a chance to get your ticket, please get it now before the early bird deadline. On day two, it is mainly focused on medtech and digital health. We'll have, again, the arrival, the programming begins. We've got a very informative keynote, some more company pitches, a break, again, some more company pitches, another lunch. Then there will be a panel discussion, and then there will be closing remarks before we move into the partnering again. So again, the partnering is on the second floor. All of the rest of the programming will be on the third floor. So with this is just to thank all of our sponsors that you will see there. We thank our presenting sponsor, Lumera Ventures, who's been supporting the event for many years now, really since the beginning. And just our top key ones, we've got Destination Vancouver, which is working with us to attract over 100 people from out of town. So really putting a spotlight on the life sciences ecosystem to investors, companies from across Canada, the US, and the globe as well. The panel sponsor, so we'll be providing some very interesting content, is Mints and Zymeworks, and the keynotes as discussed is Edmare and EY. For each of the pitch sessions, the sponsor will open up with some opening remarks and then introduce all of the companies. So we're very thankful to Genome British Columbia, Innovation UBC, Owen Wiggs, and Aruda Solutions. There is a lot of technology, both in terms of the AV, the partnering system, and that's being supported by our technology sponsor, Aon. And we will be thanking very much our event supporters, Berkeley Canada, Castle, Thermo Fisher Scientific, and TMX, who are supporting the event. So as you can see, we have a very wide, diversified group of sponsors, and we thank them all for their support. So next, which I know many of you will be interested in, is the confirmed investors to date. So right now we have all this list here, and every day this is actually growing. So we actually just confirmed Amgen the other day, just confirmed late breaking news. And here you can see we have a very cross mix of company investors, whether they're venture capital companies, whether they're global pharma. There you can see Johnson & Johnson, Novartis, just to name a few. Johnson & Johnson actually will be sending 4 global scouts there across multiple areas. And a reminder, especially for them, which you may have seen in our bio links, they're accepting applications to meet with them one-on-one on the Monday as well, because they find that the 12 meeting slots, they have so many requests for those 12 meeting slots during Tuesday and Wednesday, that they will actually need to have extended partnering time. One thing I would definitely encourage if you're looking at meeting some of the more high profile, whether it's VC's Lumiere Ventures and Amplitude, Pender Ventures, there or the Global Pharma, I would strongly recommend that you get your meeting requests in this week and next week because they will receive a lot more requests than they can do. And so they then may say, well, we're full on those 2 days. Would you like to come and meet with us on an additional days? So that's very important as well. And also to, as you say, all these companies will have profiles in the partnering system, which Nicholas will talk a little bit more about. But just as a reminder, as you all know, to please do your research, know which ones are looking in your area. Many of these may be doing just therapeutics or just medtech or just digital health. So just to have a sense of what they're interested in and put in your meeting request, as I said, as soon as you can and as detailed information of what you're hoping to connect with and as much information as possible on your company. So yes, if there's any questions on that, we can answer those later. Next is we have the presenting companies slide here. And this is a great representative. We're very excited. We have range from C stage companies to Series A to Series B to public companies all across the therapeutics area, medtech, and digital health. This was a very competitive process. There were over 60 applications for the 30 spots. So our expert panel of investors had a very difficult choice to get down to this top 31. And in addition to that, I will also note that there will be probably at least additional 50 to 60 what I would call partnering companies or companies who are coming but are presenting, they're not presenting, but are interested in looking for investors, service providers. They're looking to connect as well. So when you go on there, if you want to connect with other companies, it could be like Xenon or Accelera or Cardium, different companies like that. You can see if they're coming there in the partnering system as well. So another good opportunity not only to connect with these 31 companies, but again, with another 50 to 60 in the BC ecosystem as well. So that is my last slide. So lots of information. One thing I will also add to keep an eye out for is that we will be hosting on the Monday night by invitation only an investor reception. And also on the Thursday, some will be invite only, some will be open. So keep an eye out on our events newsletter. We are partnering with UBC to have a UBC day. So there's going to be a breakfast event and campus tours and lots of things that we're working with the School of Biomedical Engineering and Innovation UBC. Stay tuned again in our events newsletter and in our webpage, Invest in BC. I'd recommend bookmarking the Invest in BC page because every day pretty much we're updating who the partnering companies are, the new investors, new events that are going on. So lots of more details on that. So lots of information I know on that, but hopefully that will give you a sneak peek there. And now I'd like to introduce Nicholas Zuccaro, BIO's Director of Partnering Products and Services, who actually will also be attending Invest in BC. So we look forward to welcoming him to BC in October. And he is now going to give you an overview of the partnering system. So over to you, Nicholas.
Thank you, Ryan. Hello, everyone. I'm Nicholas Zuccaro. I'm a director of partnering products and services at BIO based in Washington, D.C. I'm really excited to be working with Life Sciences BC with the partnering system for the event this year. We used it last year, but this year we have a new partnering system. We've imported everyone's data over to the new system, so you don't need to worry about that. You could still view your historical data. So let's jump in. We have a lot to cover about the partnering system itself. I'll give a live demo as well, point out some tips and tricks, and then we'll continue on to the Q&A. So first off, I'd just like to cover again some of the information about partnering at the event. So partnering will take place on the Tuesday and Wednesday from 2:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. These will be in 30-minute time slots on your calendars in the partnering system. And then the partnering service desk will all be located to help you with any questions on site. We'll be on the second floor next to the partnering meeting locations and the exhibit booths. So if you have any questions at all at the time of the event, feel free to stop by. I would love to hear feedback or anything like that. And as well as I'll share my contact information for the partnering team. As you use the system, you can reach out to us with any questions that you have. So last year we helped with the partnering at the event, and there was a lot of energy with the meetings. So there was over 170 companies with 269 delegates. Overall, there was over 1,282 meeting requests sent in the partnering system, and that resulted in 444 scheduled meetings, which was just phenomenal. I think it surpassed everyone's expectations. There's a lot of good energy for partnering at this event. So next, I'd like to just go over getting started with partnering. So once you register for the event, we'll go ahead and create your account using the email that you registered for. So you'll receive an email from biopartnering@bio.org. We recommend that you whitelist this email account just to make sure that it doesn't end up in your spam folder. So if it's been a few days and you haven't heard back, we recommend checking the spam folder. If not, reach out to us and we can kind of diagnose the issue to get you logged in and partnering right away. So this new partnering system that we've used for a few events now requires multi-factor authentication. So what that it means is on your first login, you'll be sent a code to your email address, and you'll enter the code um, to verify that it's your email address, things like that. Once your account is set up, that will be only asked every other week. So there is that multi-factor authentication aspect. If you have any troubles with it, always reach out to biopartnering@bio.org and we'd be happy to help. So next, I'd like to move on to the partnering system itself. So as I said, this partnering system this year compared to last year is a new system. If you went to Bio in June in Boston, this is the same partnering system then. Um, if this is your first time using this system, but you use the system at last year's event, your historical data will be there. So the main page, the home page is called the dashboard, and we'll be looking at this more in the live demo, but the dashboard is basically the control center for everything going on within the partnering system for your company. The partnering system works on a company-to-company basis. So if I have other colleagues attending, we'd be placed in the same profile. And from there, we can triage our meetings, collaborate, um, and choose which meetings we would like to attend. So on the dashboard, there's a lot of good insight and action-oriented data. There'll be information about your latest meeting requests. At the top of the page is where you'll find the important conference updates and news. So you can see here from just the screenshot, we have information about the event itself. Coming soon will be the PDF link to the agenda. So you can view the agenda in full details. And then as you'll see during the live demo, there's also links to the mobile app that we'll cover soon in this webinar. But there's a lot of information on your personal and company meeting data breakdowns. You'll see the updates come in, and then there's also the navigation on the left-hand side is where you'll navigate to all the other pages. And one page I'd like to just point out is help and support. So new in this partnering system, we have a really helpful help and support section with FAQs, video tutorials, PDF tutorials. So even after the webinar, you have questions that maybe we didn't get to, whether reaching out to us at biopartnering@bio.org or going into the help and support section. We have new video tutorials on every aspect of this new system, whether that's helpful or we can always discuss it over email or calls. Next, we have company and personal profiles. So the company profile is the main place you go to be seen. So this is where you want to fill out all of your information. We'll look at more of the fields more closely during the live demo. But this is where, if you've attended an event in the past that's used BIO's partnering system, we will pull in your most recent data. So you won't have to start off with a blank profile if you've already attended and filled that information out before. But this is where you'll highlight your business development interests and objectives for the conference. This is the way to indicate to the other companies who you're looking to meet with. And all of this information on the company profile is something that you can search for within the partnering system. It's something that you can filter for through our advanced filters. So it's really good to fill out as much as you can to be seen. Next up, we introduced a lot of different marketing opportunities within your company profile, not just the logo, but the background at the top of the company page can be customized. As you look to the right-hand side of the personal profiles, besides just headshots, that background of your personal profile can also be customized. And same when we get into talking about assets, market products, and services that your company offers. Each asset, service, or market product has its own unique profile on your company profile page. And each of these can be customized with a logo if it's a market product, or maybe your asset has a marketing logo. You can upload that as well as long, including all the other information to help people find your asset, market product, or service. These things can also be shared on a meeting request. So if you're looking to meet with a company or an investor with a very specific topic, such as a specific asset or service, you can attach that service profile to the meeting request to make it seen by the other company. And then as well, you can upload content to your company profile, and these can be attached to a meeting request as well. These include embedded YouTube videos, PDF files, documents, things like that. And you can share that with the other company as well. On the personal profiles, one thing I'd just like to point out as well is the LinkedIn button. So you can put your LinkedIn address into your personal profile, and then you can easily connect outside of partnering with some of the other people that you're looking to meet with. Um, with the delegate profile, that's also where you're going to customize any of your notification preferences. So if you feel like you're getting too many emails from the system or not enough, you can customize all of the email notifications that you'll receive, whether you just want to be notified about your scheduled meetings or if a company accepted your meeting request, everything is customizable. And one of the new features we'll talk about as well is if from your delegate profile, if you have a coworker or executive assistant helping you manage your partnering meetings. We also allow for guest accounts to work on your behalf. So by entering in their email, you can set up a secondary account, a guest account for a colleague to actually work in the system as you on your behalf with their own independent login information. So you don't have to share passwords anymore. And that helps with the multi-factor authentication as well. Say you're on vacation for a few days and you want your coworker to work on your behalf, find new connections in the system. They can do that entirely on their own this year. Next up, we have the calendar. So this is a way for you to manage and view your partnering calendar all in one place. The conference program with the workshops that occur during partnering hours will also be added into the system. So it's a way for you to manage everything going on during that time. You're also able to add personal events to your calendar. Say you have an internal team meeting during the event, or you'd like to just put aside time for a break. You could do that. This is where you'll indicate whether you want to be available during one of the 30-minute time slots for a partnering meeting or whether you want to close off that time slot. So these can be updated at any time. You can always go in there and update as you find a new event that you'd like to go to. Maybe you want to go to another workshop during partnering hours. You can update your calendar then. Um, Once meetings are scheduled, and we'll talk more about meeting scheduling in a little bit, but once scheduling begins, this is where you'll see your scheduled meetings. You'll be given the location, the time slot, things like that. Um, at any time, you can view you or your colleagues' calendars. As I mentioned, it's a company-to-company platform. So say I'm working on behalf of my other colleague that's attending, I could go in and edit his or her calendar at any time. I can view who they have meetings scheduled with and add myself as a participant, things like that. Um, Also, what you can do from the schedule page is export your calendar, and you can do that in a few different formats. You can do your individual calendar as a PDF. So if you want to include the programming that you've added to your calendar or personal notes, you could export that into Excel as well. But you can also do that for your calendar, company-wide calendar. So if you're sending multiple delegates to the event, you could view everyone's calendar, and that's PDF and Excel as well. And what you can also do is download the ICS file for your individual calendar. So this is for um, email platforms such as Outlook, Google Calendar, things like that. You can export that into your chosen email calendars. Um, One thing that I'll show you during the live demo is that there is automatic Outlook invitations or whatever email platform that your email address is tied to. So as your meetings get scheduled, as long as you keep that notification turned on, you'll be given the automatic Outlook invitation that it will update if the meeting's rescheduled. It'll update automatically to your email calendar if it's canceled, things like that. So that will be something that I'll point out, which I highly recommend you leave on, just so it's automatic sync to your calendar. And lastly, we have the search page. And this is where you'll likely be doing most of your work finding the companies that you really want to meet with. So this is the directory of companies, participants, assets, market products, and services. And one of the great things about this system is just the variety of filters that you can use. We'll go through some of the filters in the live demo coming up shortly, but there's a wide array for every field, whether it's a company, delegate, asset, market product, or service. Every field has filters for you to really drill down and find the meaningful connections at this event. Another thing that you'll see at the top of the search page is you can automatically filter quickly for investors. So if you're just looking for investors, you can quickly filter out the search at the top of the page to only include investor companies and delegates. Um, Another thing is saving searches. So if you're interested in oncology, for example, and you save that search, you have the option to select to be notified daily or weekly if there's new matches that match your oncology search results. So that's something that I definitely recommend taking advantage of. And I'll show you that more closely in the partnering system. And this is also, as I mentioned, we've imported all of your historical data. So on the search page, you'll be able to see any companies that you had a prior meeting with. And then you'll also be able to include notes on each company within the search page. Those notes are internal for only your company to see. So if you want to make a note for a colleague on a potential company that you'd like to have a meeting with, there's the place to do so. And then you can also favorite companies, delegates, assets, market products, or services, and view them all on a favorites page as well that you can export at any time to Excel. Um, so with that, as I mentioned, we'll be getting a much closer in-depth look on all these pages shortly. And now we have the meetings page. So as you send and receive meeting requests, this is where they'll all be housed. It's a collaborative inbox with all of your colleagues. So if I have another colleague attending, I can accept on their behalf. I can add them as a participant at any time. But this is where you'll go to see your outgoing requests. Maybe you want to include another message on the meeting topic, share another linked resources such as an asset, market, product, or service profile, or something uploaded to your content section. This is the place to do so. You can quickly sort by incoming, outgoing meetings. And new this year, you can also batch reply to requests. So if you click on the needs reply button at the top, you can quickly view and respond to those new requests, either batch accepting or batch declining them, just to give you more time back in your day, just to make the process easier for accepting or declining meetings. Another thing you'll be able to do is share your contact information. On the delegate profile page, there will be a section for you to input your preferred contact information, and this is only private unless you click this share your contact card information on the meeting request itself. It'll send in a message, and once you receive those as well, you can export that contact information directly into an Excel spreadsheet. Um, so everything you can do on the meetings page, search page, things like that can be exported to Excel, whether it helps you organize things better, or also if you want to share it with colleagues to help get their input on which companies you would like to meet, things like that. So I'd like to go over some of the feature highlights before the live demo, and this is some things that I talked about. But in meetings, we have the needs reply button that allows you to quickly respond in batches, whether it's accepting or declining a meeting request. And then you can also export the contact information shared with you in an Excel spreadsheet that includes the phone number and email address the person that shared it with you. In the delegate profile, you can invite a guest to work on your behalf. And search, if you save a search, you can enable daily or weekly email notifications for new companies that match your saved search criteria. And a new feature we just rolled out is AI Assist for meeting requests. So as you type in a company name to request a meeting with, we have an AI Assist button that will generate a short and concise message for you to further customize on behalf of your company. But this only uses information found in the partnering system based on your company profile and the other company profile. It does not look to any external resources on the internet. It's only contained within the partnering system itself. But this is a good way to give you an idea of what to type for a meeting title and a short but precise and on target meeting message that will help you um, triage your list of sending out requests. So I'll highlight that feature as well because we'll be moving on to the live demo shortly, and I'll be sure to include that as well. So now I'm going to switch over to the partnering system itself. One moment, please. So this is the partnering system, the dashboard, as I mentioned. This is the home page. As you first log into the partnering system with the multi-factor authentication, this is the screen you'll be greeted with. So we're just going to go over these screens again in more detail. So I'm logged in as Nicholas Zuccaro, that's me, as a director of Nicholas Pharmaceuticals. So you'll see that information here on the dashboard. Um, on the left-hand side of the page, that's the navigation bar. You'll see this on every screen of the partnering system. If you've attended a past event with us, and you click on the conference name, you can view your old conferences, including the conferences from the old partnering system that we used for last year's event. So you'll be able to go and view that information all from this partnering system as well. Then we have the navigation links to the dashboard, company profile, calendar, meetings, favorite search, and as I mentioned, the very helpful help and support section. So starting with the dashboard, at the top of the page is the carousel where you can view all the important updates and news regarding the event. As you can see here, we already have links going out to some of the information regarding the conference. If I click on the arrow, you can see the link to the mobile app, which we'll talk about soon. But basically, the mobile app allows you to use partnering at the event in a very quick and easy way. It's on iPhone and Android devices. We have a QR code there as well that you can scan. We'll be talking about the mobile app shortly. So as I scroll down the dashboard, you'll see a few different stats show up. One is the company profile completion. So this is just to give an indicator. This is only viewable to your company, but this is to give an indicator to your company at how much of your company profile that you've filled out. Of course, you only want to fill out what's relevant to your company. You don't need to get it to 100%. But this is just to give an indicator of how much you've actually put into your profile. As I mentioned, it's only viewable by your company. It's kind of just a guideline. We have the same thing for the delegate profile on the right-hand side. And then below that, you'll see delegate availability. This is the delegates within the same company profile. So if you're attending with a colleague, you'll see their name here, and you'll see their calendar availability for partnering meetings. We also give you the percent complete for the delegate profiles as well. As we scroll down, this is where you start to see the more action-orientated data for you and your company. So on the left-hand side, we have the meeting requests overview. You can see in my overview, I've been mentioned in one meeting. So mentions is a way to target up to 2 people in a specific company, and they can filter based on if they've been mentioned in a meeting request. So if there's 2 or 3 delegates attending and you really want to meet with one specific person on their team, you can mention them, but ultimately it's up to the other company to choose the best fit for the meeting. I'm required on 3 meetings, which means that my availability is taken into account when scheduling. And lastly, we have optional. So meetings, as a participant on a meeting, if you have more than 1 delegate, you can either be required or optional. If someone is optional on a meeting, their availability isn't taken into consideration when it's being scheduled. So each company must have at least one required delegate. But this is a way if your colleague has a busy schedule and they may not be able to attend, maybe they want to prioritize the workshops that are happening during partnering hours. You could set that person to optional, and then if they have time, they could attend the meeting as well for you. Further down on the left-hand side, we have the meeting request counts. So in my meetings page right now, I have 2 requests that needs a reply. And then I have 1 meeting that's accepted with no mutual availability. So I'll show you how to open availability to get things scheduled. And then for the purposes of this live demo, I have 2 scheduled meetings. On the right-hand side, you will be able to see your latest meeting request updates. So if someone sends you a message within one of your meeting requests, you'll be able to log in and see what's been happening since you last used the system. Once scheduling begins, you'll see that when your meetings are scheduled, they'll be updated there as well. So from the dashboard, we're next going to look at the company page and take an in-depth look at some of the fields. So this is the company page. I will edit the profile so you can see what all the different fields that you can customize. And we really recommend taking advantage of this because this is how companies are going to find you. You can never have too much information. So you can't change the company name. It's the company that you've used on the registration. So if there's any issues with your company name and how it's labeled in the partnering system, feel free to reach out to us at biopartnering@bio.org. From here, you can choose multiple of company types. So all the relevant company types that fit with your company profile. It's multi-select, so you can select any as much as you need. So say for instance, I am a medical device company. You can go ahead and do that. The partnering system, well, we are called Bio. It's not just for biotech or pharma companies, it's for everyone that will be attending this event. So there are a lot of different fields where you can customize your partnering objectives, your keywords, as you will see shortly. The brief description is the description that displays on the search page. So it's really important to keep that description in there. The description section below that is where you can write more about that. The other 2 fields are keywords that help you appear in search. So for this company, it's a demo company, but their asset is on cardiovascular disease and it's cell therapy. So I just included those keywords to make sure that when someone searches for those, it's included. Next, you have the financial information of your company, which is really important if you're looking to meet with investors. And then in the next section, you can set your partnering objectives, your company's conference objectives, your therapeutic areas of interest, things like that. And then new this year, you can also indicate your geographic areas of interest too. Finally, we have the shared content section. This is where you can upload a PDF where you'll be able to attach at any time to a meeting request. And you'll be able to quickly share a slide deck, non-confidential, or just an asset overview with other companies. And they'll be able to just click on that from the meeting request itself. Then we have the contact information for your company and the address. So new this year as well, you can add up to 3 company addresses. A lot of companies don't just operate in one location anymore. They may have headquarters in Europe, North America, Asia, things like that. So you can add up to 3 company addresses. And this will help your company get found on different searches as well. Moving along on the company profile, there's a few other tabs. We have the leadership and delegates tab. So leadership is a text field where you can add your company's CEO, leadership, C-level executives as text fields. So this doesn't give them access to the partnering system. The delegates that you see on this page here are the people that have access to the partnering system and are partnering at the Invest in BC conference. From here, I could customize both mine and my fellow colleagues' profiles on their behalf. Next up, we have the assets page. So this is where you can add a new asset profile. If you're a therapeutic R&D company, you can customize everything within this menu, including the primary therapeutic area, the clinical indication, mechanisms of action, technology, things like that. Once you create the asset, it'll have its own company or it'll have its own profile where you can then customize the logo if your asset, service, or market product has that as well. So it's the same thing for a service that your company offers. You're able to enter the target audience, the URL, things like that. And once it's created, you'll be able to add a logo, customize the background, things like that. And then lastly, the market products as well. It's the same situation as assets and services. It's its own profile on your company profile where you can let people know what type of market product you have, what type of medical device, things like that. It can all be found on this page. And all of these things, as I mentioned, can be attached to a meeting request to help the other company quickly see what you're looking to meet regarding. From the company profile edit page, you can also hide your company profile. So say you're working on updating the information, you can update your profile at any time to be hidden from search, but we recommend always returning it to visible after so people can find your company on the search page. But if you're looking to update some information found within your profile and you don't want it to be visible yet, you can always do that. Same with your delegate profile, you can unpublish that. So we'll quickly look at the delegate profile. This is where you can update all of your information about really who's attending the conference. So you can customize your first or last name or your company name. As I mentioned with the company profile, that's something that you'll have to reach back out to us, and we'd be happy to update that for you. But you can enter your job title, your area of expertise, link to your LinkedIn profile, and also give some professional background as well. So past the addresses, I just want to point out the contact information section. So as I mentioned during the meetings page, you'll be able to share your contact information with another company with a click of a button on the meetings page. So this is where that information pulls from. This information is completely private unless you click to share it with that other company on the meeting. Otherwise, no one can view your profile and get this information. You're only seeing mine because I clicked on my own profile. So it's completely private. You choose who to share it with. So have your email, phone number, and once you do your follow-ups for your meetings, it's very easy to just go in and share that with the other companies. And then on the second tab of your delegate profile, this is where you can add a guest account. So say I want to add my colleague Louisa, and I add her email address and click send. That would send her a guest account to work on my behalf in the partnering system. She would have her own login, things like that. And then down below is the notification settings. All of the different actions in the partnering system will send you notifications. So if you're looking to only have notifications for certain things, you can go ahead and switch that toggle on or off. If you have a colleague at your company that maybe you just want them to see when a meeting's been scheduled so they can make sure your calendar is all set, you can add a CC email for all your email notifications under the alternative email address. This won't give them the guest account. You'll have to add them under guest settings. But this is just a way if they just want to be looped in on your emails, that's the way to do that there. That's all found within the delegate profile. And at any time, if you want to navigate to the delegate profile, if you click the top right, you can just edit profile here. You can also reset your password or log out. Next is the calendar page. So on my calendar right now, I would recommend first thing you do when you log in is to just make sure you, if you know your availability, to just set your hours. So there's a few different ways you can do this. If you just click on the time slot toggle, right now we're viewing Tuesday from 2:30 to 5:30. You can see there's toggles here next to each partnering time slot. You can do that. If you're just really excited for partnering and you want to just open it all up for partnering from 2:30 to 5:30, you can change the availability with one click of a button to make an entire day available. So all the time slots start off by default as marked as unavailable for partnering. So you just want to make sure that you open at least one to make sure that your meetings get scheduled, things like that. If your meetings can't be scheduled due to a lack of mutual availability, which I'll show you shortly on the meetings page, you'll have to either open up a time slot or consider if you have more than one delegate, maybe adding someone as an optional delegate. Um, and if I click at the top, I can go ahead and view Wednesday as well. So from the calendar, we have the export buttons where you can export your individual or company calendar as a PDF or Excel. And then we have the universal calendar file, which is an ICS file that will open in your email program of your company. As I mentioned, though, in the delegate profile for the notifications, there is a specific email for calendar updates ICS that will be automatic once scheduling begins. You'll receive that email to your calendar, and that ICS file will be automatically updated if the meeting's moved to a different time or location, or it's canceled. So I recommend leaving on, even if you turn everything else off, this calendar updates ICS notification on. So once meeting scheduling begins in mid-October, this is when your accepted meetings will begin to be scheduled by Bio. There's nothing more that you need to do. We run an algorithm that calculates based on every one of your accepted meeting, the best time slots for the availability to make sure you get the most meetings scheduled based on your calendar. So this is where they'll start to appear. Um, you can add a personal event. So say at 3 o'clock on Tuesday, I just want a coffee break. I may be tired because it's towards the end of the day. So I'll just enter that into my calendar by selecting the start and end time and then create that personal event. It'll ask you if you want to be um, available or unavailable for partnering. So I don't want it to impact getting a meeting scheduled, so I left it open. But from there, you can see the personal event. When the workshop events are added to the calendar, you'll see this on the right-hand side of the screen. So you can add that based on your partnering calendar. Um, from here, if you click on a scheduled meeting, you'll see the information about the scheduled meeting, the time, location, which company, which um, delegates. And same with the personal event. If you just click it, you'll be able to edit that or delete it. So next up, we have the meetings page. So as I mentioned earlier, this is where all of your incoming and outgoing meeting requests that your company sends will all be housed. Um, so the first type of request is an incoming request. So new this year is the batch response. So say I see this meeting from Hope Investments, um, and I just know that I'd like to view all the meetings that I need to respond to right away. As you click the Need to Reply button, you'll be able to see all of those. And if I select all or multi-select what I'd like to batch accept or batch declined, I can go ahead and do that. So we'll just say I would like to meet at the event, and I will choose my company's required participants. And then if I wanted to add my colleague John as an optional participant, I would go ahead and do so. And now these meetings will be accepted with no mutual availability. So this means that once scheduling begins, these wouldn't be scheduled by our auto scheduler. So there's a few different ways I would go ahead and try to get this scheduled. One would be to manage the participants and open up more calendar time slots. But for this, I would just maybe see, okay, maybe we'll add John as an optional delegate. And this is updated in real time. So now that John's optional, his availability is no longer being taken into account. So we can now see that this would be scheduled when a meeting begins or meeting scheduling begins in mid-October. The other thing would be to manage your calendar, and maybe you need to open additional time slots. So when I manage the participants, I can view their calendars here, and I can open it from the meetings page, so I don't have to navigate all the way back to the calendar. And if I opened a time slot where there's mutual availability, the red indicator that there's no mutual availability would go away. So I know there's nothing more that we need to do on our end to get this scheduled. Sometimes it's the other company. So if you scroll down, you can send a text message to the other company on the meeting request, where I can ask if there's any other availability they can open. This is where you'll also be able to share your contact information. So just below the send button on the text box, if I click share, it will pull in the information from my delegate profile, my name, my company, my title, my location, but also that contact information on your delegate profile. So this is where it is visible to the other company finally once I hit send. And once scheduling begins and you're given the time and location of it. If you always want to request it be rescheduled, say that time slot no longer works for you, you can push it back into our auto scheduler queue by just clicking the request reschedule button. Meetings can be um, undone if you say the workshop you no longer want to attend to, and you just want to undo that request, you could do so. If you cancel a request, you can always uncancel it. If you decline a request, you can always undecline it. So if you have any troubles, you can always reach out to us at BioPartnering. Lastly, we have the search page. So this is really the where you're going to be spending most of your time. So I covered some of the things on the search page, but this is where the information from your company profile is being pulled to. So this middle section here, that's the brief description. And then we have the company types, the country, and then the name of the company, your logo. One thing I'd like to pull up or point out is first the investor toggle at the top. So say I only want to view the investors coming to the event, I can quickly filter the company and delegate list based on that. Otherwise, the advanced filters on the right are a great way for you to really drill down on who you want to meet with. So all of the company profile fields that we went over, all of the delegate fields, assets, market products, and services, you can customize that. One of the really good fields that's underutilized is the company registration dates. So you can filter the list by when the company registered. So if you've already gone through all these and you come back in a week, you can filter by new companies based on the last week. Any search can be saved. So if I search for oncology and save this search, I'll have the option to be notified daily or weekly anytime a new company registers and matches that search result. So that's something that's new for this partnering system, and I highly recommend you take advantage of that. It'll save you time filtering. Lastly, you can favorite a company on this list, and it will show up on your favorites list. From there, you can request the meetings with them, or you can um, export that to Excel. And you can do that for companies, delegates, assets, market products, and services. Lastly is the request meeting button. So you can see next to the company name, there are the request meeting buttons. So you can click that and get started, or you can click the blue request meeting button on the left hand side. So for this, I'm just going to type in one of our test companies, and I'll show you the AI assist. So if you're clicking from the search page, you won't need to type in the company name, but if you click request meeting from the top left, you'll have to type in the company name. So with this, I'm just going to show off the AI assist tool. So say I have the participants already set up from my side, I can click AI assist, and it will generate a message and meeting title based on the information found within my company profile and their company profile. So you can see here the AI assist gives two examples. It'll always give two, but if you don't like what you see, you can exit out and click AI assist again. But if we click on that and hit apply, it will insert the meeting title. So based on my company profile, it found the cardiovascular drug, and it customizes the message based on that, including your name, your title, your company name as well. But this will look at the two profiles and find a message that is short and concise, but fits that requirement. So if you have any questions about this, you can always reach out to us. And lastly, we have the help and support page. So this is where you can view in the system itself tips for success, the FAQs for this event, and also our full directory of tutorials, including PDFs and video tutorials. So I know that was a lot to cover, and there's still a few tips I'd like to cover. So I'm going to stop the system overview, and we'll just head back into the slides and then continue with the Q&A questions. So one moment while I switch back over to the slides. So now I just want to cover some partnering tips for everyone really quickly. So there's kind of 4 steps to get started quickly. One is to create your profiles, your company description, especially brief description that appears on the search page. That's very helpful. You want to outline your offerings, add your pitch decks, your presentations, things like that. You'll want to add your headshot to your company profile, your contact information for sharing that contact information. Once that's completed, you always want to go next to your calendar availability. So you can always do this later on, but once you get to scheduling, you'll be there's no mutual availability, meetings won't be scheduled. So the earliest you can do this is the best. Next is the search for potential partners. You can use filters. So some of the advanced filters I didn't get to show you were filters for the sponsor companies, filters for the presenting companies, things like that. Filters for the exhibit companies. All of that information can be filtered to find potential partners for you. So really take time to use the advanced filters. In the long run, it'll save you a lot of hassle trying to find the right partners to meet with. Another thing is to use that save search function. That way, as soon as there's uh, new companies that match your Save Search criteria, you'll be notified weekly or daily based on your preferences, and saving you time to going and checking the system itself. Um, Another thing is to manage your meetings. So accept or decline incoming requests. We know it can be hard to decline another company's request, but companies prefer to get that answer rather than just having it sit in the requested status. That way they can plan to meet other companies as well. So even if it's accepting or declining, it's best to respond. Um, and once a meeting has been accepted and it's accepted to be scheduled, there's nothing more you need to do. We schedule the meetings on your behalf using an algorithm based on mutual availability and the locations, and that's going to be in mid-October. So that's when you'll start to get the meetings on your calendar. And some additional tips are to take your meeting request seriously. Um, the AI assist is built to generate thorough but precise messages, but you always want to make sure you're customizing the meeting request that you type out to the other company that you're looking to meet with, including the company name, who you're addressing the meeting request to, um, and really take the time to customize the subject line. A lot of companies view that right away and decide whether they want to meet with you or not. So it's good to have something in the message. You wouldn't open an email that just says message. So kind of take that same um, um, customization to your meeting request titles. So make it clear but precise and to the point. As I mentioned, apply search filters that will save you a lot of time, saving your searches for daily or weekly notifications. And um, really, as we get closer to scheduling on mid-October, take time to make sure your accepted meetings have mutual availability, whether it's you need to change a colleague to optional or you just need to open up more time slots. It's best to always do that before scheduling begins so you can make sure that once it begins, all your meetings get scheduled right away and you can plan around them as well and attend some of the really good workshops being offered at the events. So other information, the mobile app is for you to use to quickly view your meetings on site, manage your meetings, request to be rescheduled, send a meeting um, message to the other company. It's available for iPhone and Androids. There's also push notifications before your next meeting. So say we're on site at the Vancouver Convention Center and you have a meeting coming up in 5 minutes, you'll quickly be able to see who that company is and where you have to go next. So it's really helpful on site. I'll also be on site ringing a chime 5 minutes before the meeting ends. So don't worry if I'll take song requests as well. But we have the QR code at the top right, and that is also in the partnering system itself on the carousel. And lastly, we have a lot of resources for everyone. So if we don't get to your Q&A or you are starting to use the system and you have questions, you can always go to letspartner.bio.org, and we have all of our video and PDF tutorials there. So even if you're not registered or in the partnering system yet, you can still check out these very helpful tutorials, tips and best practices, videos, things like that. Once again, we have the help and support section in the partnering system itself, where you can find all of the same information. This webinar will be uploaded to the partnering system as well. And lastly, please reach out to our team at biopartnering@bio.org. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to help, or our contact phone number is also in the partnering system. So if you prefer to talk We'd be happy to answer any questions that you have as you use the system. A lot of these questions only come up as you get more involved in using all of the system features. And lastly, if you have any feedback, we'd love to hear it as well. So with that, I'll bring back Ryan and we can go and see if there's any Q&A questions.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Nicholas. That was very comprehensive, and actually, there are no Q&As, so you actually have answered all the questions. So that's great. So thank you again for doing that. We'll look forward to seeing you on site in October. And just to wrap up, I just wanted to share some upcoming events. Here we've got the Blake's Breakfast Speaking Series, Resilience, Current Uncertainty, and Forward Planning coming up on Tuesday, October the 7th from 7:30 to 10 o'clock. This will be taking place in the Blake's office in Vancouver, but will also be simulcast as a Zoom webinar. So for all of our guests joining us from outside of Vancouver, you're welcome to join us online. We have a whole bunch of new speakers that are just to be announced, so keep an eye out for that. And also in October, we'll be up in Kelowna. So if you're in the interior there or know anyone's there, we've got our showcase series Kelowna. Thursday, October the 16th from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Delta Grand Okanagan there with our event partner, Michael Smith Health Research BC, and our event supporter, the University of British Columbia Okanagan campus. So with that, thank you very much for attending today. Really appreciate that. Hope you enjoyed the sneak peek of Invest in BC, and we will see everyone October 28th and 29th in Vancouver. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, everyone.